Well, hi everyone. I'm Sonia. I'm an LPC and I'm in Houston, in West Houston. Um, Everything okay for us with the storm? I know the city is a mess otherwise, so hope that the locals are okay as well. I specialize in treatment resistance, complex trauma, and eating disorders, and I do a lot of my work outdoors. Not in the summer as much, but I do a lot of ecotherapy and nature-based therapy, and combine that in integration with CAP.
Should I go next? Yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking time out and joining with us. And my name is Christi Lawson. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I work in Tyler, Texas. I have a group practice of 6 of us, and we have some diverse focus, but mine is specifically working with trauma, specifically first responders, veterans, and sometimes just even some couples have come to me. I think I will be doing my first couples CAP session soon. Excited about that. But yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. I also have aligned myself with a ketamine clinic here in town to help support them in their IV infusions too.
Great. Thank you both for sharing. And thanks everybody for being here and sharing your time with us today. I'm Christine. I live in South Texas. I'm in a community called Rancho Viejo, which is close to Brownsville, Texas, which is right on the tip of Texas with the border of Mexico and the Gulf of Mexico, South Padre Island. If any of y'all have been to spring break on South Padre Island, I'm just a short distance away. And I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I specialize in PTSD, depression, anxiety, pain, and marital. And I do individual and groups, and I do both of those in person or remote or self-guided. And I teach a trauma class, Transform Your Trauma. I just, right before this, got off of a call with several of my clients. My clients are from all over, from way up Oklahoma border, Austin, Houston, around this area in the valley. And we are on our next to the last session in that class. This session was called Integration. And then funnily enough, I teach a class with Journey Clinical called Ketamine Compass, Guiding Therapists Through Healing Journeys. And we have our last session on that class is coming up a week from this coming Thursday, and it is the final installment on integration as well, where we'll be talking about pitfalls to avoid in integration and the top 5 evidence-based therapies and their tools and techniques to use in integration, how they've been used in some of the actual clinical trials that have taken place. I'm a graduate of the Integrative Psychiatry Institute as well as MAPS training, and I really love Journey Clinical because of the model, the collaborative care model and safety, that they're so thorough, their prescribers are so easy to work with and so respectful, where everyone's respectful of everyone and professional, and the clients are just doing phenomenal, and they all love their prescribers, and Brittany is one of the prescribers for some of my clients, and they love her. And so I have all good things to say about Journey Clinical, and I have some negative things to say about other companies that I also come in contact with. And I have to say Journey Clinical is by far the most thorough in terms of client care and also training and support of therapists. So thank you.
Is it me? Hi, I'm Kim Tayler. I live in Austin, Texas, and I'm an LPC, LCDC, and certified clinical trauma professional. Trauma is my choice of clients, and it's PTSD and complex PTSD. I'm so excited for this ketamine thing and bringing in for complex PTSD. I'm just seeing some awesome results with that. Brittany is my girl. She's so great to work with. I send all my clients to her. If she is the representative of the medical team, like I just feel incredibly supported, and my clients feel really supported by you, Brittany. So thank you so much for that. And you know, I met with some therapists a couple weeks ago who are thinking about joining Journey Clinical, and they're like, okay, but really, like, what really is it worth the $150 you're paying a month? And like, without a doubt, and Journey Clinical isn't paying me to say this, but without a doubt, like, I am so incredibly supported, and it blows me away. Really, the trainings were great, but these ongoing groups that we can join for free are just, it's just such juicy stuff. And it's like I'm picking groups with facilitators that are speaking my language, and you know, and not everybody is gonna get the woo-woo stuff or whatever each of us are into, but I've met some incredible therapists offering, just like Christine's talking about, this cool thing that you're offering, like, and it's free. It's for us to use, you know, just for us to take advantage of. Excuse me. And something that came up when everyone was talking is I've met enough Journey Clinical therapists who are just starting, and then there are some that have been doing this forever. And it's interesting to me how, you know, like if you are a new therapist who hasn't experienced ketamine or any other psychedelic, like there's a bunch of y'all, and there's also some of us that have a lot of experience with a whole lot of psychedelics and are really comfortable in this space. And it's like, I'm watching us be able to lean on each other. And like any of you are welcome to contact me. I'm quite happy to share my own experiences. But there's a lot of us that just feel really comfortable in that sort of space from our own work. So I feel like a lot of us bring that as well. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for those amazing intros and the kind words. A couple of you have alluded to different outcomes that your clients have seen from doing CAP with you, and I know you're all very experienced CAP providers. So I wanted to ask you a little bit more about those outcomes. What outcomes have you seen in your practice from CAP? And I think that can also help some of the people here who either aren't a Journey Clinical member yet or are just getting started understand who CAP is a good fit for. It's a question we get a lot. Sometimes we have members who feel like there's this pressure to build an entire new client base, and they might have existing clients who could be a good fit for CAP, but you know, how to describe that to people can be a challenge sometimes. And so I wanted to ask you all about the outcomes you've seen, and from your perspective, based on who you work with, who would you say CAP is a good fit for? And we'll kick off again with Sonia, if that's all right with you, Sonia.
Sure. I just recently got started with CAP. I mean, recently, like the last 6 months, the last year or so. And most of the clients that I've gotten have been people who are specifically seeking CAP. They are, I mean, I'm getting a huge influx of women in their late 50s who have tried everything for eating disorders in particular, and nothing has worked. I also have another group of like elder millennials, I guess, like 30s, 40s, with a lot of identity crisis. Again, like people who have put in a lot of work already, who have done their research, who are totally open and ready for the treatment that's kind of who I've seen seeking the treatment and then actually committing to it. I've seen people that appear to be ready for it, and then I don't know, commitment kind of wavers a little bit. Maybe there's like a financial component to it. So that's kind of who I'm seeing, like professionals who are already established or in transition from one career to another, in transition out of a marriage, in big transition. I've seen a lot of success. I haven't, my current clients, my long-term clients aren't really interested in trying it, or they're interested, but they just haven't, I don't know, they haven't jumped in. So I couldn't say like, oh yes, this person, you know, made considerably more improvement over the last 2 months versus the last 3 years. Like I can't say that. But the people that I have seen have gone from a place of like being completely immobilized by shame, by trauma, low self-confidence, feeling like forever wounded, this theme of the forever wounded. And I'm seeing these folks connect to themselves and connect to spirit and connect to self and wisdom and like fall asleep during sessions because their system is finally relaxed enough to let go. And you know, these are in general are people who are like, they are ready for results. They really, really want you to fix them. And so it's really, really cool to actually get a client in a space of recognizing like, I felt that peace and that is the fix. Like, that's it. That's all it needs to be. So it's been really cool work, and it's been like, I think a breath of fresh air for them. Because they've been, you know, talk therapized to to death almost. That's a kind of a crude joke, but yeah, I've seen a lot of improvement. I went through the treatment myself for PTSD, and I don't know where I'd be today without it, because it was, I think it was life-saving.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sonia, for sharing that. I appreciate you being vulnerable. And I'm going to pass it on to Christi to share as well.
Yes. So in my particular experience, I've obviously worked with the helpers and the healers who have seen and done lots of things in their line of work. I've worked with the veterans, trying to offer a more affordable, more careful approach than some of the clinics that have popped up. Just to be honest, they are very much in need of someone to take care of them, for it to be their turn to have someone hold them and hold space for them. So that's been a rewarding process. A lot of therapists in my area, kind of east of Dallas area. So there's not many people, I don't think, with Journey Clinical in this geographical location part of Texas, but hopefully soon I won't be alone and we can have in-person meets. Yes. So I work with the healers. I've got therapists who are interested in how this could help their clients. One of the talking about outcomes for clients, I've tried to really educate and partner with other local therapists so they don't think I'm trying to take their clients from them. And that when you refer someone for, you know, CAT, it's different than what you do with them. And, you know, maybe they just want you to facilitate that, and then they come back and do their, you know, deep work EMDR wise and things. Or maybe they don't have a therapist existing and they go all in with me. So I've seen so as far as like who it was good for and who it was not, I've seen very limited, even people that are a yellow flag in terms of history of some psychotic features, recent suicidal ideation, recent hospitalization. I've even had some people with that. And we, of course, kind of zoom in, have a really good talk with the medical team, with their external, with their other providers, get a really good history. That's one thing I just cannot stress enough. The difference in other places and Journey Clinical is the medical piece and the component that is so collaborative and works with the therapist. Those of you who've worked alongside doctors, sometimes we know they may not be as collaborative. So this has been a really amazing experience for me, but also for my clients to feel that team, like a safety net that is woven together for them. So the caution that goes into it, but not, it's a very conservative, but yet affirmative towards healing. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's been, I think, the biggest piece that's helped my people is the conservative nature of, the dosing and the conversations. But then also they come in with that mentality, like Sonia said, of this is the last ditch effort. I don't know what I'll do if this doesn't work. So we manage that with the preparation, which that brings me to, the education piece of this format is amazing and helps with knowing exactly how to do the preparation work, and managing those expectations has been huge. And then moving through the difficult things that do come up, that need to come up, that we can move through that together as a team. The three pieces of that team, the doctors, the client, and the therapist, and we will manage that together. And it's necessary sometimes to move through those difficult things that need to come up, not to be scared of those, to be respectful of those, and to give those, those experiences and memories and parts a voice and a place to be heard. So it's been a rewarding career change. I've been interested in psychedelics, and just ketamine specifically caught my eye about 5 years ago, and working with some clinics came to the realization I may need to shift gears and focus. This has been a wonderful way to feel more empowered and in control of how I want to see the help come to my clients. And this is like the best teamwork approach that I could even say. I can't think of anything else that I would add to it, honestly. It's really amazing. The results have been great.
Thank you for sharing, Christi, and for giving us a picture of how the collaborative care really does support. It's patient-centered. That's the whole idea, is that you're getting really wraparound support and care. So thank you. And Christine, I'm going to invite you to go next.
Thank you. Before Journey Clinical got approved in Texas, I was working with a couple of clinics, and three clinics actually. One of them I practically had to fight to be able to go in with the client. And I would look around and I would see patients in there who were just getting hooked up to IVs, and then people walk away and they had no one with them. And it can be a frightening experience when you dissociate all of a sudden, you're out of your body and you don't know what's happening and no one is there. And so I witnessed that and I thought, how can they do this? And then it was $600, $700 a session. Also, just to have somebody stick a needle in your arm and walk away. And no integration, no preparation, nothing. And this was at a pain clinic, and people were coming in for pain, ketamine for pain, and they would add in lidocaine and magnesium. And then I found out they were kind of using some diluted medicine. They were diluting it further by adding it into 500 milliliter bags instead of 250 milliliter bags. And in spite of all that, it helped. It helped the person with their pain. It helped them with their depression. And so, wow, my sister was one of the first ones that I accompanied. And then the other two clinics were very happy to have me come in, but I had no control. I could make, how much you gonna put in there, and how fast are you dripping it in, and so I could ask questions, but I really had no control. And I waited and waited. I was on the waiting list. I was paying my discounted rate so I could be the first one in to Journey Clinical. And when Journey Clinical got approved, finally, after months and months and months, I was on board, and it was so nice to be able to do this in my office or the client's office, them have the lozenges. And I had taken IM for my training. And then I had taken IV. One of the clinics gave me an IV session so I could see what that was like. And when I first got the lozenges, as I've suffered with clinical depression, major depressive disorder, recurrent for years and years, but I haven't had any problem with it lately in the last 15 years, but I want to keep it at bay, right? So when I first got the my lozenges, I thought, well, this isn't gonna be anything like the IV or the IM, nothing like it. And I took the lozenges and I swished them around and spit them out. Whoa, I was like, these are powerful. This is just as powerful as an IM or an IV, in my opinion. You'll find differing opinions about that, but it was very powerful for me. And I was so happy because the mystical experience, the out-of-body experience, the feeling, the felt sense of bliss and love and unconditional, acceptance is what's healing for patients, for clients. And so I was so happy to have that in a lozenge. And I like the lozenges. They're easy. I don't think they taste bad. Some people will complain, but I think that they're kind of highly sensitive people. And so we work around that. We mitigate that. We, give them a mint or beforehand, give them a mint afterhand, sip of water, just to, take the bad taste that what they perceive as the bad taste out of it. I don't find it to be distasteful at all, but that's okay. Everybody's different. I've worked with people from 15 years old to 80. The 15-year-old could not go through Journey Clinical. 15, 17, you have to be 18 to go through Journey Clinical. But they were able to get ketamine from other online sources. Their parents were able to get that for them. And rather than them being alone and not being, facilitated or supervised, I did work with them. I don't anymore. They did have good response, and they were suicidal. So I felt at that time that was a good option for them. I've worked with addiction. I've worked with first responders. I've worked with suicidal. And one of my clients is from Holland, and he ended up moving here, and he's independently wealthy. He's been all over the world looking for help for decades. He's 66 years old. He had terrible, abusive, neglectful childhood, has had trauma. The year before I met him, he had a gun to his head twice. The last time a hummingbird pecked on his window and saved his life. And then he found me. And he has been doing this journey for a year now. It was a year in April. And he said, when I first came to you on a scale of 0 to 10, I was a 1. And after a year, I'm a 9. So it's just been phenomenal. His healing has been phenomenal after he strived for 3 decades to get help. He's been to lots of clinics and paid lots of money. And just the ketamine and my training, my work with him, we connect somehow. And he says that he was guided here by the universe to meet me, and he's healing, and he's very happy about that. He says you can have a 100-story building, and you can take the stairs, or you can take the express elevator. And ketamine is like taking the express elevator. So I think that's a good analogy with how quickly he's been healing. And most of my clients, or all of my clients who come to me, they're at the end of their rope. If they are coming to me, it is a serious situation. They've already tried everything. They've tried not one or two, they're not treatment resistant to one or two antidepressants. They've tried 7, 8, or 9 in different combinations, and they don't work, or, you know, they didn't work, never worked, or they worked for a while and then they stopped working, and they're self-medicating, and they have concomitant ADHD and all kinds of things going on with them. And so the medical help is invaluable in, you know, getting them detoxed and cleared out and ready for the ketamine. That's all part of preparation. Myself, my own journey, like I said, I have a hard time finding the time to do a journey, but I've been able to do them about once every couple of months. And I find it really invaluable because it keeps me in touch with what the client is going through, and I can have more knowledge of the arc that they're going through in a journey and respond to that. And it keeps my own clinical depression at bay beautifully. And I just think it's a wonderful program and a wonderful huge outcomes for people, a wonderful intervention. There are other interventions coming down the pike, you know, MDMA and psilocybin and so forth. But right now in Texas, we have ketamine. So this is what, you know, we will use, and this is what we will continue to use, and it works. And I have a couple of clients it hasn't worked for. They've given it up. One was dissociating too much, and the other one had bipolar, and she ended up in, not because of the ketamine, but just because of her condition was deteriorating. She did do ketamine. She responded well with 2 sessions of ketamine lozenges. She actually went to a clinic and had a 3rd IV. And then she went home, and her family put her in a psychiatric hospital, and she went back on meds. And so she is still over there with her family. But, you know, it's not for everyone, and not everyone, but for the 95% of my clients have responded well to the treatment. So I hope that helps.
Thanks, Christine. That's very powerful. And absolutely, we couldn't agree more. This is not for everybody. And that's really important for everybody to hear. We don't, our medical team, I'm sure, can speak to the fact that we don't, you know, we have a thorough eligibility process in that intake. And so it's not appropriate for everyone, but it can be, as you mentioned, very powerful for some. So I'm going to pass it to Kim now. Thanks so much.
I have 3 clients that I want to talk about. One of them has been in inpatient treatment and done who knows how many therapies for how many years, the talk therapy. And we just did his, well, 11th now, but on his 10th ketamine session, like, he was getting nothing other than just really detached stuff, which I wasn't totally surprised with, but we just kept at it. And Journey Clinical said, just do another round with him. Like, there's promise. And y'all, he had this breakthrough, which he's never had in his whole life. And like, he's connected to his light. And it is just, I had a session with him today. It's just, I've worked with him for 3 years, and to see him and hear him like reference himself, and that he has a self, because he didn't have one. It's just, I'm like, finally, okay, good. It's pretty incredible. It's quite miraculous to see this, and he's on this new trajectory and actually realizing that he has to take some action to do some change. And he was so stuck that nothing got him motivated to do anything for himself. And I'm just watching his whole psyche change. It's amazing. And then another one who I started working with about a year ago, like so dark, not suicidal, but just so incredibly dark that he couldn't even see. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. and it had never been in therapy, was his fiance said, either get in therapy or I'm out. And we didn't even do a full series. I think we did 4 ketamine sessions, and he had that experience of being connected to all. And having this, there was no spirituality, anything in his life, like life had fucked him, right? And he came out with, wow, there is something besides me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to call it, but I felt it. And even in integration sessions, like, yeah, I can still tap into that. I can listen to that music and get grounded in myself, and I can actually feel that presence like supporting me now. So another just miracle that I witnessed. And then another one, I don't know how comfortable y'all are with this, but one of my clients that I've worked with for like 4 years, I actually went to her house to do the ketamine session. I trust her. We have a great relationship. And that was really beautiful also, because she was in her safe space. And I charged to drive out there, but she lives a long ways away from me and didn't want to take an Uber after a ketamine session. And just being in her space with her dog, and like it was exactly what she needed. And I think it's pretty awesome that we have the opportunity to do that with Journey Clinical if we feel like that's a good fit. I certainly wouldn't do that with most of my clients, but it felt great with her. And then Christine, you're talking about doing your own sessions. I forget, I get caught up and I don't do my own. And then the other night I journeyed and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to remind myself how beautiful this is, because it gets me back into connecting with my ketamine clients on a level that I don't unless I'm kind of in that. So I'm in it again. And I told myself I need to do it at least once a month so I can just be reminded. And plus it feels amazing. And I feel like I'm on ultra antidepressants for a few days after. So, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's what I got. Thank you.
Wow, that was pretty epic to hear. I'm sure I can speak for Mona and Brittany, and I mean, hopefully others too, but especially for us who work at Journey Clinical, hearing these stories of you all and the amazing work that you're doing with your local community, supporting these clients is like the best part of our day always. So it's pretty special to hear that from all of you. And I appreciate you all sharing about that. And I want to ask you a little bit about what it's been. You've mentioned a lot of these aspects so far, so we don't need to spend too long on this. But how does being a part of Journey Clinical support you in this work? You've alluded to different parts of the training and community, but I'd just love to hear in your own words what that's looked like being a part of this.
I mean, I would just like piggyback to everything everyone said. It's such a supportive community, so much training, so many groups, and people who are just passionate about this work, sharing their passion with others. It's been really cool. And I think I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Like, my caseload is really full right now. I'm not particularly CAP clients, but just in general. And like a dosing session and an integration session they feel very different than a regular therapy session. So I think from my perspective, it balances out my work. It like makes me use a different kind of therapy muscle, makes me kind of have a different intention around space. It also feels like a lot more hands off than kind of regular therapy, even though I'm not a very directive therapist. But it's been really helpful for burnout, I think. And for clients too, who have been going to therapy, once a week for a decade. It's a little bit of a different system. But yeah, no, I love Journey. I sell it. I try to sell it to everybody I know, because it's worked for me. It works for my clients. The collaborative care is, I mean, I can email Brittany anytime, right? So that's, and she'll answer, which is great. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And so I won't repeat what Sonia said. That and um, also the other therapists in the states that have been, functioning under Journey Clinical offer great input, support, the little individual meetings. I would definitely would have been lost without the coaching, the mentoring, the weekly schedule of group, things. If I have a cancellation or whatever, I hop on, learning about marketing. It's just like everything, all that. And also I loved the shadowing feature, and that was really helpful in my confidence of seeing and hearing what it looks like in action, and being curious about how to set up my space. I'm a little bit OCD about details, so I had to kind of get through some of that in the beginning of, well, what do I want my space to look like? What vibe do I want to give, and all that, the furniture, in person, and everything. So it was just really great to have the training, which I then turned into a deeper dive of getting maps, kind of going off into getting more trainings and more information, resources, books, workbooks for the clients, just all kinds of resources in this platform that is above and beyond anything I've ever experienced before, as far as support, education, not just for myself, but the clients. And the medical team, the community, it's like little chat features that if you have a question, it's like, oh, I'm glad they asked that. I was wondering that too. And I'm glad that they asked, and then seeing all the responses. And I will so stalk people's websites. I will definitely go to their website and think, oh, I like how they did that. I need to add that to my website, or, that helps paint the picture of what I do. So it's just a wonderful collaboration. I guess it's the biggest word.
Christi, are you in Dallas? Did I hear you say you're in Dallas?
I'm near Dallas. I'm about an hour and a half. I'm in Tayler.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I had a possible referral for you, but Tayler might be too far away.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anyone in Dallas? Okay.
I'm in Dallas.
Okay.
also
So
in Dallas.
Casey, I ought to be able to find you online.
I am a member of Journey Clinical, and then I also I'm on Psychology Today. The brick and mortar that I work for is Link, LINQ therapy, and it's there's 3 locations, and I'm in the Addison
Oh, that
location.
might be perfect. Okay, I'll find you.
Okay.
Is a person that is inappropriate for me to work with?
Thanks, Ross. That's awesome. Love to see that happening. I popped Casey's Psychology Today profile in the chat if you want a shortcut there. And I'm going to pass
I'll
it
be stopping
over.
that.
I'm going to pass it over to Christine.
Yeah, just to kind of recap, I think the community forum is great, and there's a search feature in the community forum as well. You can talk to therapists from anywhere, and they also have breakout groups for Texas and other states. The beginning training is fabulous, even though I'd gone through training and I was excused from the Fluence training for Journey. I went through it anyway, and it was great, a great refresher. The ongoing classes, the ongoing groups, and I do want to say I had a couple of friends, one in Arizona, one in both one in Phoenix, one in Sedona, who started with Journey Clinical, and then they dropped out because they had an expectation that they were going to get tons of referrals. So I just want to tell you, don't have that expectation that Journey Clinical is going to be sending you referrals. I know that they try to, and they are working on bringing more people in from the public and matching them with therapists. But that happens more in the bigger cities in New York and yeah, bigger cities. So that might happen. And just like here, Ross, making a referral to Casey, that's how it works. And so I just wanted to kind of manage those expectations that if anybody's going to join, I'm going to get all these new clients from Journey Clinical. It hasn't worked that way for me, and I've been on since the beginning. But I know it has worked. Some other people have gotten several referrals, but like I say, that's in bigger cities. So I just kind of wanted to bring, open that up and kind of talk about the elephant in the room. And I know that Journey Clinical is working on it, but their main thing is to get therapists on board and get approved in different states and grow the practice. And then I have seen some announcements on Facebook and social media, just like the other companies do, where they're asking, for people to, just lay people who are suffering to come in and call them and talk to them, and then they will match them with therapists. So I know they're trying to do that. That's in the works, but just wanted to say that. Thanks.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you for setting that expectation and clarifying what our kind of model is and how we're here to plug into your practice and support you with all the things we've been mentioning today. And this collaborative care is really the core offering that Journey Clinical has. So I'll pass it on to Kim.
Well, in addition to Brittany being fabulous, it's really nice to be able to jump on the medical calls when there's a question. Like it's just so easy and they happen so often. I love that. And I know some people get overwhelmed with all the emails from Journey Clinical. I don't. Like, I'm so intrigued by the questions coming in. And some of you I know answer quite a bit, but for new people that are like, what the heck am I doing? And they'll throw a question out and we'll jump on and answer it. They'll get several answers or responses, and it's pretty sweet to get. I have downloaded and printed out so much material from other people that have posted, and I've posted a bunch of stuff because I get downloads of, okay, well, this is, maybe what a chaperone needs to know, and you guys can access all that stuff. And it just feels good to be in community with like-minded people who are all, wanting to support our clients in a psychedelic space. It just feels amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you all for sharing about that and painting the picture a little bit more of what this looks like. I'm going to turn it now to the advice that you'd have to other therapists who are either considering building CAP into their practice. I've been looking at our sort of attendance here, and it looks like we have quite a large cohort actually of non-members who are exploring CAP today. So welcome to all of you. And then of course, some of the members that we do have might be new to this and nervous to get started. And that's normal. So I want to offer to you all to offer everyone some words of encouragement as they get started with this.
I think my biggest piece of advice would be to undergo the treatment yourself, or if you don't have any experience with the medicine, have some experience with the medicine. And with the process, like if you can do it with another Journey Clinical member, so you can, like I have somebody that we trade sessions with, and we really practiced a lot on each other. So that's really helpful. And I think the second part is to just talk about it. Somebody in the chat asked me, like, how do you get referrals? And I'm like, I just talk about it all the time. If I'm around other clinicians, I'm just really excited about it. So I think that's it. Lizzie, the last time that we talked, I had some good ones, but those are
Yeah, I was just gonna plug you, Sonia. Sonia does an amazing job with marketing herself. And a lot of it from our conversation is around this like networking piece, like showing up in your community as somebody doing this work and really wearing it on your sleeve and being confident about sharing about it. And Sonia's become like an influencer in her area as someone who does
okay.
I would say so. And in active in Facebook groups and also in person. I know that Sonia, she hosts like a monthly wellness event, like nature walk for therapists to come and then ends up connecting with people. So those are just some examples that I know from you of like how you're doing a really amazing job of leading in your community and welcoming other people into this work. So
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's the key is, when I first started, I was really worried about the reception of how it would be received by the professionals and also by the potential recipients of the treatment, right? And I was like, Nancy Reagan. But I was really surprised and encouraged by the level of open-mindedness in my little area. And I pursued it hardcore. I was like, I will either be discredited in my community and have to move, or this is going to be a good thing. And it's been a good thing. I've had a contact with a couple of the news stations here in town, got media to get curious, and no one took pot shots. I thought maybe they would get me up there and kind of open the Matthew Perry story up. And that happened right as I was getting this out there. So anyway, that was really powerful to experience that and kind of being in alignment with some of the psychiatrists in town who, interestingly, psychiatrists are in my area, not as, they're not the ones doing the clinics. But they are very open to having a relationship with someone who does this work. So it was really good to see that. And yeah, so I would encourage the networking, the marketing, which Journey Clinical has an amazing weekly little meeting that you can get ideas, you can bounce off, ways that they provide you with resources as far as little, I'm not a tech person, but things you can put on your website, your Psychology Today profile, your signatures on your emails, every little tiny thing helps. I mean, I emailed my daughter's school with my business email one time, and the school counselor was like, hey, what was that thing on your signature that says CAP? What is that? So it helps just anyhow you can get it out there. I would encourage the experiencing it yourself, because a lot of people will ask you, have you experienced this? And also, what was the other thing I wanted to say? Shadowing, watching. I just can't say it enough how much that helped me get confidence in what it looks like, because you hear in the training, you watch the training videos, but then again, it's like, oh, this is live happening right in front of me. I co-facilitated a group CAP session that was scary, but then it's just a matter of just do it. Just do it. And yeah, the training, the resources, the community, the staff team, everything helps. And you, like somebody said, this work is, it's so much easier and so much more powerful than any form of therapy. And I had to literally untrain myself in traditional therapy modalities to learn this. And that's a long story, but we won't get into that. But I would just say, get into it, get started, attend these meetings that they have, get the mentor, get everything, get all the things, and just go for it. Take control of your practice and do what you feel is right for your clients.
Lizzie, does Journey have a mentoring program that I could actually get a coach?
Yeah, absolutely. We have coaches on the Journey Clinical side to help you get set up. And we also have a mentorship program where you can get matched with another therapist who can help support
How
you.
do I do that?
I'll pop that in the chat. I'll pop it in the chat and I'll make sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead, Christine.
Yeah, all of those things. And then, In the ketamine compass class that I teach for Journey, in session 2, it's all about marketing. We go over every kind of marketing, imaginable. And one of the things that your regional courts or your district courts probably have a veterans court, or a specialty court that deals with veterans who have gotten into trouble with the legal system. And they have little special programs for them. And so I invited the judge of that court to come sit in on a group session that I did, an in-person group session, and I got permission from everyone. And they kind of told him their stories and how they found ketamine. And then he sat through the journey portion. And then as they came out, they, kind of told him what their experience was like. And he was just blown away. And so he has referred, it was very fresh. So he's referred a couple of people to me. And then I went ahead and I wrote a letter to the regional court director. And she is up in Corpus Christi, Texas. And I told her that, this could be something that could be useful for all the veterans court in her region. So that covers several counties. And then Elon Musk, he's a big proponent of ketamine. He started SpaceX down here about 5 years ago. And so I know the lady who is in charge of all of his public affairs. And so I said, who would I write a letter to about what I do? And she said, oh, me, just send it to me. So I wrote a letter to Elon Musk, and I said, what a help this could be because of the high stress, in his team. And so I have yet to follow up on those 2 letters, but there's all kinds of ideas and people, the ketamine clinics, they have a good, relationship with them, and they refer people to me for preparation and integration. But 2 of those have closed down. Of the 3 I was working with, 2 of those have closed down. So, people here can't afford the $600, $700 a session. So schools, yes, other, word of mouth through other clients. I do a lot of social media. I get inquiries from my website every day, 3 or 4 inquiries. They don't always pan out, but eventually I do get 1 or 2 from, and so I'm full. And all I do is CAT. I don't even do regular anymore. So I'm full. I can't take on any more clients for a while. Hope that helps.
That's awesome to hear, Christi. And I just want to say thank you for all of your advocacy as well for the veteran community and for everyone. That's pretty incredible.
It is. I hope to someday only do CAP because that's where I really love to be. I think doing our own work is the most important. I just can't, I went through a master's program and some of the people in there had never been to therapy. And if I can get on a soapbox about something, that's it. And so it carries over to here. If we haven't figured out how this medicine, if we don't have our own experiences with it, then how can we sit for someone else? I just really believe in that, and to have several sessions because every one of them is different. That and I'm so excited about it. Everybody in my life knows. I mean, they just know, oh, Kim, yeah, ketamine, that's her thing right now. And I'm full, and I'm kind of letting the universe create some space in my schedule to take on more ketamine clients because I really, and I know that'll happen. So I'm just trusting that. I don't really have space to go out and market myself a whole bunch, but the therapists that I know, I'll just send them the part of my website that is CAP with Kim. I'll just text that to them, and they can read it and just put it in the back of their minds for if they have somebody stuck. I would love to work with other people's clients and take them through ketamine and help them get unstuck and then have them go back, because I don't have the capacity. I mean, I'm in my dream experience, I would be doing a lot of that where I can, help someone and then lovingly hand them back to their therapist to continue their work. Yeah. So I'm, and the other thing is Lauren's house. Lizzie, is that her name? Okay, y'all, you have to watch her video. I watched it right when I started. Her whole talk is just do it. You don't have to have the perfect office. You don't have to have the perfect space. You don't have to. And she's just so like full of life and like, just do it. It'll work. So listen to that. I listened to it like 10 times. And finally I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and start. Yeah. So I encourage those things. Thanks.
Kim, who is that again?
Lauren Taus, it's Taus. Lizzie, am I saying it?
Yep, that's correct. And the video Kim's referring to is one of our training videos. It's, I believe, is it the Getting Started with CAP one, Kim, maybe?
Okay.
She's like a motivational speaker. She's
And
pretty
it's Lauren?
Big time.
Lauren's house?
And I'll send you her Instagram because she's actually our clinical advisor. So she's a therapist herself. She does a lot of CAP. And she's on our team advising us, but she's her own sort of influencer in the space. So I'll send her Instagram as well. She is pretty cool, and has a great Instagram presence if you want some inspiration there. She has like her personal one and then a second one for her practice. So pretty great person to connect with and does a lot of our trainings for us. So go ahead, Kim, you're going to say something?
Do we want to open it up to see if anybody has questions?
Yeah, I know we're running out of time.
I know what.
It's awesome though. I mean, this has just been unbelievable. I did want to offer actually, or just invite Lynn, who is here, to share. I was connected with Lynn over email this week, and Lynn just had a really powerful story to share about CAP for her own clients, and also collaborates with Trisha, who's another colleague who might have had to hop from the call. But I wanted to just invite Lynn to share a little bit, and then we're going to open it up. So if you're a Journey of Clinical member and you want to say something's on your chest, please, we'll kind of, I'll start unpinning our speakers and we'll open it up a little bit more, and just kind of chat and connect. But thank you all. Thank you so much to Sonia, Christi, Christine, Kim. You shared so much valuable insight today. I'm so grateful. So thank you very much for being here. And I'll pass it over to Lynn, who I'll just pin real quick.
I'm Lynn McCracken, and thank you, Lizzie. I agree with everything all of you guys had to say already. I am in Christine's Ketamine Compass group, and I will tell you, join. She's a fountain of amazing knowledge and wisdom, and I'm so grateful that I met her. And then also, I heard one of you is doing a couples CAP session soon. Your first one, Enamory. Those ladies have a couples. They have like webinars and groups, and it's been so supportive and amazing to hear from them. I did my first couples CAP a month ago. We've had 2 sessions, and it was just absolutely incredible. I've had my LMFT for many, many years and stopped doing couples counseling about 10 years ago. I just felt like not passionate about it anymore. But after doing that session with this couple, it was just really transformational, and it makes me want to work with couples again. Just the way that it softened their hearts and opened them up to each other. It blew me away. The other thing, Trisha and I met on the peer. They will pair you up with a peer to do the online CAP experience with Journey. And so I met Trisha. She did have to hop off because she teaches yoga. I think she had to go teach a yoga class. We met, and she was the first person I knew in the Dallas area, and someone said, "Oh, Christi, I was really afraid to come out of the closet and tell people that I offer ketamine in Dallas because a lot of my referral sources are very, very conservative churches, and a lot of my dear colleagues are in the addiction world. And I really was afraid I would lose my reputation if I put that out in the world. And Trisha had the same fears, but we decided, okay, like if we're not doing it alone and we can kind of hold hands and jump at the same time, maybe we'll do it that way. And we decided the best way to help more people is really to educate the therapist, because both of us had such great experiences personally. Like, I had such a great experience with my therapist who introduced me to CAP. My body relaxed for the first time, and I don't know. I think I didn't know that my body could do that after my first session, even though I didn't have too much of a real journey because my protectors and manager parts didn't let me. My whole body just relaxed, and I was like, this is what it feels like to have a relaxed body. Wow. And I just wanted my clients to have that opportunity after I felt it myself. So we decided to do group CAP for therapists as our way to come out to the world. Like, maybe this is safer. I don't know. And so we really, both of us were kind of like, okay, we're both going to press post this on Facebook and hope that we don't get terrible like lashback from people. And I am so happy that we did it. We've done 2 full day experiences, and to just being able to meet like-minded therapists that I didn't know before, and to see them light up in that same way, and to be like, wait, a quote I sent to Lizzie, because we had just done a integration session, our second integration session for our second group, and one of them said, I feel like it was in 6 hours, I got 6 months worth of therapy. And this is from a therapist who's been to therapy a lot and has done her own work. And I just keep also hearing the same messages from my clients and from the therapists over and over again, that their inner healing wisdom, it just turns out comes up with this, the same message. I'm trying too hard. I need to allow more. I need to connect with nature. I'm working too hard. I just need to let go and release. And I've just seen huge progress with clients that I've seen for a long time, that know the skills but can't access them in their everyday life because of their anxiety that gets kicked up. And then they go, I know, they would come to me and go, I know what I should have done, but it was just too hard. And now after ketamine, it's like it slows down the reaction time between being triggered and reacting. I don't know if anyone else has had that feedback from their clients, but it's beautiful work. And I think someone else said something about it's like taking the stairs or something like that. I said the other day when I came home, I had 2 CAP sessions in a row. Usually I was only doing 1. I've just fitted it on Fridays because I had a full schedule otherwise. And now I like look forward to going in on my usual day off. And I had 2 in a row, and I was driving home, and I told my boyfriend, I called him, and he's like, how was your day? And I said, I just feel like I was taking a horse and carriage before with therapy, like, and now it's like I have a rocket ship. I just feel like, and I get really excited about what is going to come out I get excited for my clients and to be able to be a witness. And I agree with everything all the other therapists said about their experiences with Journey.